When we first saw Milk Dud at the shelter, we couldn't believe that anybody could abandon a 7-month-old Siamese tabby mix cat. It was this small, lanky-legged little bundle of sweetness that kind of zeroed into my face and rubbed herself against the cage as I tried to pet her through the bars. And it was kind of like one of those cat distribution systems with some assistance by the shelter where the cat just picks you, and that's the end of that entire dilemma, and it's just going to be like that until the cat goes away. We took her home after all the pertinent paperwork promised up and down, and we had, you have to think, it's been a while, so my memory's spotty on the details, but I'm pretty sure you have to promise that you're going to get her spayed / neutered. I will never figure out which one is which. Don't even tell me in the comments, because I will forget it again. I want to say that it's spayed for females, but I have no freaking clue, and I will never have any clue. It will never be a thing that I get right. I have accepted my fate in the neutered versus spayed big debate of 2026. You kind of have to promise, and I think you have to actually schedule the appointment. Don't quote me on that, but it has to be done, and we got it done. After she was home for a while, she was the protagonist for quite a bit back in the duplex that we used to live alongside my sister-in-law and her boyfriend. We all lived together for a little while. That whole situation was rather untenable. We moved 1 year after into our own home after, you know, all the back in 2009. Yeah, 2009. Let's say the housing market was not nearly as prohibitive as it is today. At the time, though, it felt like a ton of money, but it is quaint to think about the house prices back there compared to the absolute abject state of affairs in 2026 as we move on forward in time. We got her spayed, and the vet was like, oh, you know, she's hopped up on drugs right now, and the operation does leave them in a little bit of pain, so don't expect her to do anything terribly active for at least a day. She had come home, and there was not stopping her. Within 5 minutes of being home, she was jumping over toys. This was a small teenager kitten, so, you know, she had a lot of energy, but definitely, I don't know whether she powered through or she was feeling just fine. Either way, she was jumping over her toy, those elastic toys attached to a stick that you just shake back and forth, and they'll just jump. This cat could jump easily 6-8 feet in the air when she was a small child, and, you know, well into adulthood, as most cats are able to do, but it was always awe-inspiring how she was able to get so freaking far up. Oh, baby, give me this key. Moved to this house. She claimed the house as her domain. We were just house guests as far as she was concerned. Slight bit of concentration is needed as I approach the maniac with the shotgun. Claimed it as her domain, and then she just never went out. She was strictly an indoors cat. She will never... It's not like she had no interest. She was actively avoidant of anything shaped by the outside. Anything beyond the threshold, we tried to, see if she was interested. She could not care less about anything outside of the door. It's cold and full of terrors out there. Do not push me out of the comfort of this toasty enclosure. This is my domain. I don't want anything to do with the outside world. I do not blame her. I also would have felt exactly that way. There you go. One time, she got out as far as the porch, considered it, sniffed around a little bit, and she was like, yeah, this is not for me, bro. This is not for me, little brother. When turned around, went back inside, never again showed any interest whatsoever. It was quite the amusing episode. Before we moved, though, it's like, it feels wrong for this poor cat to be by herself in the house. So kind of, we both decided, let's get her a companion, a brother, or a sister. We weren't particularly set on that. Whoop. We weren't particularly set on that, but it ended up being a brother. First, it was Mulder. I forget his name. Bear Paw. No, I don't think it was Bear Paw. It was some other name at the shelter. And we really did try to have Bear Paw be the new member of the household. All through his spraying the walls with his piss and, difficult attitude. But we did have to take him back. It felt so wrong to take him back to the shelter. But when he attacked Luna, and we were seeing that he was very, very dominant with her, and we didn't want that kind of dynamic. We didn't want to come home to having a dead cat. One of them having, fought and stuff. We took him back to the shelter, said, we believe this is a barn cat. This is a very outdoorsy cat that will very much enjoy to chase all your mice. I hope that he found his proper home later on. He didn't just, get sheltered into oblivion. You know what they do with the cats that they can't rescue. We really gave it a very solid try. And with a heavy heart did we bring it back to the shelter. It's weird because they really got along. We introduced them in the shelter to one another. They seemed like they would go along with each other just fine. They weren't aggressive right away, but I think Mulder, he just wasn't built. He wasn't built for that life. After that, my wife, she found an ad somewhere saying free kittens. It wasn't for the shelter. It was just somebody that just had one too many kittens. Let's probably say 20 too many kittens. And it was this place way out in the boondocks. That she went out. It was like basically this nasty ass junkyard. And there was a different cat that she liked, but the lady that was there was holding Vigo. And Vigo saw my wife. I was not present. I was not present at the moment. I was hard at work bringing home the bacon. Vigo, barely a month old, he saw my wife. The moment he touched my wife, this is how she tells it, he latched on and he would not let go. And the way that he looked at her, like, get me out of here, please. It was the most desperate cat she had ever encountered. She could not bring him home. And he became Luna's companion and big brother. And I always remember, we always quoted with fondness, this moment where she asserted her dominance. It was maybe a month into him being home, maybe a couple of weeks. At the moment, she was extremely fond of this thing, this foam covering for a microphone, a small microphone. She would carry it everywhere. She would play with it. It was her little baby, okay? She saw Vigo touch it. This was a kitten of a few months old, this little gray, fluffy ball of laziness. That's Vigo. At his most active, this cat would not play more than 5 minutes. It was uncanny how lazy Vigo was. Really liked it. He was after my own heart. See if we can get this man to jump into lava and stop being such a problem. Boy, was he a cat after my own heart, that boy. She saw him playing with it. She very calmly, she didn't hiss. She didn't rush over. Very calmly paced over to where he was at, sat next to him, stared, and suddenly, whack, 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 right in the head. There was no exchange. There was no words exchanged. It was a quick and decisive assertion that was unacceptable. And then she just calmly grabbed her thing and went over to her corner to nurse the thing, the foam covering. We will fondly remember this moment. We both got to witness it. Still quoted to this day. Very, very nice. Other than that, like, these two cats, never saw them fighting. They would play as often cats do. Not once did I ever see them actually angry at one another. Very, very nice that these two cats got along so well. Whoop. Might he have become a roasted piece of bacon down there? You're not the man that I'm interested in. What's this about? Really? Very nice. Lucky. Like it. These two cats, man, they never fought. It was truly a thing to be witnessed. How well they got along. For the most part, it would be Luna initiating all play, and he would end it because he was like twice his size. So she would pester him, jump on him, try to get on top of him, all that good stuff. And he would be like, oh, and throw her to the floor, to the ground. Just kind of pin her down for a little while. She will get mad about it, frustrated, and then just leave it be. I'll be honest, I completely forget how to deal with this creature. A piece of skull. No. That was triggered. That was triggered. Yeah. All right, there you go. Oh, baby. But other than that, they would just hang out constantly. Constantly. This right here was a common occurrence. This was the everyday experience. These two cats sharing a bed, just hanging out, having a grand old time. Luna was very fastidious about cleanliness. She would groom pretty often. Sometimes we worried that a little too much, but she never developed any weird bald spots or anything. Vigo, he had too much of himself, so she would help him out all the time. I think that she secretly enjoyed it. She was a bit of a clean freak, and he would not leave him alone. She would clean him so much that he would get irritated by it because she just would not stop. I often wondered if cats' tongues get tired from grooming, because she would do it to me all the time on my lap. She will not stop licking my arms and my hands to the point I was like, Luna, you gotta stop. It really feels raw. It's like sandpaper constantly on my arm. You gotta stop. But she would just keep doing it. She would keep doing it. This cat was a little bit of an autistic, clean freak cat, okay? And loved her for it. So, you know, in the new house, in her new domain, she found her routines and her rhythms and adapted to ours. You know how it is. Cats will see you and learn patterns. By the time that by this year, she would know everything that was going on. Every day, without fail, she would sit on her spot to receive us from work. Or me, if I was the only one that was out into the wilds. It's a nightmare. I don't want to engage with that. I'm just gonna leave you people alone, okay? I'm just gonna leave you people alone. You are untrustworthy. I am very intimidated by the likes of you. She would know the sound of the garage door, and not just that, but the engine coming into the driveway. She would just go over to her spot. We would see her from her perch at the window. She would move over to her waiting spot where hopefully she would get some pets. If we were coming through the front door, she would move over to the stairs where right away we would turn around and there's Luna receiving us, making sure that, you know, we acknowledge her properly. And you better acknowledge her properly when you get home, or she will let you know about it. She would just quietly sit there expecting you to acknowledge her. If you didn't, she would be vocal about it. She would not tolerate you just ignoring the shit out of her. That is not the way that things are done in this house. Her domain. Her property. We're just guests in her living space. Where was the Kali altar? Was it up here or was it... No, it was in the middle past the lava, right? Yeah. Nope, my bad. I'm too stupid to live. Oop. She would know if I start taking... I get off my computer chair. I start taking off clothes. It's like, time to shower. Let's go into the bathroom because I know he's coming in here, and I get pets because he likes to pee before showering. So I'm gonna get pets guaranteed as he sits on the toilet. So she would just go in there and wait. Anytime I am sitting in the chair, something that she would demand I do. I cannot spend too long downstairs. She would wait patiently until patience runs out, and she's like, look, you gotta come back. You gotta come up here. She'll start crying. I'm meowing until I go to my spot in the chair. And once I sit in the chair, it depends how she felt, but most of the time what she would do is come over to my side and pat my butt. With one paw, she would climb over and pat my butt. It's like, look, you sat on the chair. Now access to the lap is basically contractual. It needs to happen. There is no options here. There is no choice. The lap is contractually obligated. I remember signing a contract with you people when you brought me from that derelict, evil place of cages and noise. I remember signing that contract. Means I get 24/7 unbridled access. What am I doing? Have I lost all control? What am I trying to use? What am I trying to use? Oh, wow. Why am I trying to use a shotgun? Look, it's been forever since I did this, okay? You can't expect me to be anywhere near competent at it. There you go. Much better, much better. Yes, indeed. What other patterns she will know? Like, she knew dinner time. The moment, usually is my wife that cooks in the household. I cook. I'll put it this way. I can cook. She's a chef. She can whip out something without a recipe and it will be delicious. If I follow a recipe to the letter, my food will be good. I'm a good cook. She's a great chef. Whoopla. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so, you know, I'm often just putzing about doing my thing in the computer. The moment she calls my name, Luna will sit at the stairs and start yelling. It's like, did you not hear her? It is dinner time. You need to calm down here so we can get the ritual done and she can give me my plate of food. You're holding up the program. She would just yell and yell. Say, look, this is extremely disrespectful. Put your stupid ass game away and let's get this thing done. We'll go down there. She will get her food. We will get ours. She would be done eating, groom herself as usual, just sit there in front of us until she got tired of the noise, went upstairs, and if I spent too long downstairs, she would let me know that, look, it's time to go up and provide lap access. Oftentimes, she wouldn't really care about the lap. It was more about just sitting in her own heated bed while I was here. It was very important that her human was up here and not somewhere else, because that's just the way the things go. You can't just not do that. What the hell kind of person are you? You absolute piece of trash. How dare you not do exactly as I demand? You know, all those little things that you later notice in the absences. So yeah, I've been noticing so many little things like, oh, she's not there anymore. Where's Luna? Oh, that's right. I will open the bedroom door in the morning, and for that split second, I'll be like, oh, that's right. Cool. Every time I open the bathroom, every single time, for that split second, I expect to see her there. And she's, oh, that's right. My wife, she'll tell me, like, it's like, I really miss how she would constantly, if I went upstairs to take a nap, she always went with me and she would guard the door. If I went to the bathroom, she always went with me and she would just sit outside the bathroom, kind of waiting for me. She didn't really expect anything, just it was important for her to watch over the entire experience. I think she was, you know, there was a little bit of a creep factor there. All cats have that. There's no getting around it. But there was a big aspect of companionship that you don't really realize is there until you're no longer experiencing it. I don't know why I really want this man to carry this pot, but that is what we're going with. I embrace murder. Certainly this. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Whoop. Surely he's dead now. Anyway. There you go. Yeah. Good stuff. You keep startling me, Gronk. Holy crap, you are a royal pin in my asshole. I'm glad all these people are dead, though. I know I'm keeping you alive. I just want to have a witness to the massacre, I guess. Oh, that's right, you exist. There is no reason to engage with Ratface, right? There is zero reason at all. We'll take a shotgun to the City of Gold, though. There you go. All those little routines, all those little habits that you just take for granted. They're keenly felt once they're no longer there. Oh! I can just leave that alone, I think. Trying to find that Kali altar so we can do some nasty sacrifices. But not too many. We don't want to do too much. Actually, yeah, the Kapala is fine. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I had for some reason, the Spelunky HD sacrifice. Getting that pile of health really does nothing for me. Trying to find a good path that doesn't put me in the crosshairs of this Croc-Man. This utter piece of trash. Yeah, turn around, you scum. More flesh, more lambs to the slaughter. Put that bomb right there. We're gonna get in there. This should be Kapala, yeah. 2 points. Yeah, look at me. Now, let's do it in style, all right? This whole falling onto the altar is... Oh, I can't. I just grab it. I can't just stun myself. I just grab it thanks to the pitcher's mitt. So, whoop. All right. Just the game really determined to keep me alive today. Into Duat we go. Man, it's been a while. It's been a while to be here. Being here. It's not happened in a long time. Do I even remember what happens in this place? Can I get my bearings and do what needs to be done? Or will I be thoroughly humiliated by the terrible things that want to munch on me, namely the piece of garbage that terrorized me for 10 episodes straight. Pepe! Oh, the snake of pure evil. Wow, this is actually awful. This is between the lava and the way up. I guess I'll do it like this. Well, there's no ropes here. So I have screwed myself. Oh, didn't see this. Push block. Oh, but there's no way through, really. What is this awful crap? There's no ghost here, though, right? You have plenty of time. You have all the time in the world. Let's go over to the other side, I guess. Man. Just sneak past you, you fat hippo piece of trash. Oh, forgot that happened. Suddenly, the stories needs to all be truncated. All the memorialization and happy memories need to be set aside as I navigate the Duat experience. Kali's altar should be here with a few bombs, right? Thought for sure I was about to burst in fiery death. Alright, got some bombs out of that. Alright, buddy. Where's your friend, though? Completely forget. No. completely forget whether... how many bombs it takes for Anubis 2. Do you stomp this fella? I completely forget. You don't, right? You do! What the... How utterly trivial. We do need the tablet. There you go. Man, it's been so long since I did this nonsense. Smiling servant of clay, marked by this snake. Smiling clay snake. I will totally forget that. As you must have obviously surmised, Luna, my 17-year-old companion, the entire time I was in this house, she was around. She passed away on New Year's Day. Was it New Year's Day? No, it was the Sunday after New Year's Day. Really should have kept track of the actual date. I mean, I can work it out just by thinking about it. After her long struggle with kidney disease, we tried to make it work, and she endured very healthily. You know, I'm sure she had issues. She had peeing issues. Keeping her hydration and all that stuff, it just deteriorated until she could no longer deal with it. Unfortunately, at least she was not eaten by a wild wolf. You can find comfort in that, I suppose. Probably shouldn't have done that, because now Callie may be pissed at me. Very upsetting. It was very sad. You don't really realize, like, I knew, you know, 17-year-old cat with chronic disease. You get used to the idea that, you know, it's gonna end fairly soon. You don't anticipate how hard it hits when it actually happens with, you know, a creature that you are very attached to. Even though I was extremely used to the idea, I was, you know, fully accepting of it. Really did not expect how terribly sad it was going to make me. It was a rough time. Just having that reality. You know, it's different having the idea and the actual reality in front of you. It's really different. Makes you really think about, you know, people with family members with terminal diseases. Because I always, thankfully, I've never experienced that. I hope to never experience it, even though it is very likely that I will eventually. Having two living parents that are getting on their older age, you know, it's an inevitability. Though it is possible. Wonder if it's even better when they die, when the people you love die suddenly, instead of it being a protracted battle with frickin' balls cancer or something awful. Because I always thought about how, well, at least, you know, with the long-winded convalescence and disease, you have time to get used to the idea. It's not something that just hits you all at once. That always seems so much worse. But it felt like it still hits pretty hard. So it's like, maybe it's just better to, you know, if you weren't, like, you don't get a choice in the matter, obviously, but if you did get a choice, maybe it would be better for it to just suddenly happen from 0 to 100. I don't know. Anyway. Definitely something that just makes you think about mortality and all that stuff, especially as you get older. And people just keep dying around you. Thankfully, it has not happened to anybody that's super close. But co-workers, they have dropped. Wouldn't say they have been dropping like flies, but there's something about the post office and pancreatic cancer, specifically pancreatic. It's like, what is going on here? Pretty sure it's been 4 so far. 4 pancreatic cancers, and they are just gone in a year. It's incredible how fulminating this thing is. You get diagnosed with that shit, you have zero chance. Apparently, I don't know. I don't know for sure, obviously, but it seems to have 100% hit rate. That crap. It ain't going to be. If you have a chance, it's going to be slim, and the odds will not be in your favor. Freaking rough, brother. On some people, it's like right before they retire, or one coworker, it was like he was young, man. He was pretty much maybe like 5 years older than me. I think he was maybe 45 when he got it. And he was healthy as an ox, and suddenly he had cancer. And the year later, 1 year later, no longer around. Freaking insane. That's what gives me anxiety sometimes, of knowing that, hey, however long you think you got, that's probably not gonna be the case. Just trying to get this man. Well, that is one way to approach this entire this entire problem. A piece of scum. It's okay, we can keep him stunned. Plenty of ropes to tie around this man's neck. Anyway, not to be morose, not to be a total downer for you. I apologize for being such a total killjoy. It felt like, you know, reminiscing. Clay smiling snake. I'm smart. I'm powerful. I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. Clay smiling snake. Here you are. I'm not. Look. I'm gonna bet my entire house on this. I'm not gonna look. I remember. I trust myself. I trust my ability. I trust my superior brain power. Don't need no reminder. Don't need nothing. Rest in peace, Luna. We loved you very much.